welcome to Crafty Ladybugs. Today's tutorial is going to be on this ant. Cute little guy for all you girls and bugs. We're going to begin the tutorial by dangling a single band on the end of our loom. My loom is set in the offset configuration and I have my arrows pointing down towards my body. So you want to make sure that your red arrow is pointing down towards your body. Take a single black band, place it on the end of the loom, and let that dangle over the edge. That's going to be our securing band at the end of the loom. What we want to do is to take 2 rubber bands, lay in the center of our loom, an additional 2 rubber bands going from the left or from the center over to the right. Now from the center over to the right again to form a small triangle. We're going to take an additional 2 rubber bands and we're just going to come right down the center of the loom 6 times. So you want to make sure that you have 6 rubber bands, 6 set of bands coming down the center of your loom. 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry about that slip there, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to begin to work on the center portion of his little hump, and that's going to be from the 3rd peg in the center over to the 3rd peg on the right. 1, 2, 3 with 2 rubber bands from the center peg over to the right. 4th peg down from the center over to the right to make a triangle. 5th peg from the center down to the right to make a diagonal. Now we're going to just be making a odd shape here with a set of bands on the right and 2 more bands to form the diagonal there. Pause the video here to check and make sure that your layout is similar to mine. I'm going to begin by placing our cap bands. We're going to have 3 different type of cap bands. The first is going to be on the very end to hold his little bum together. So we're going to take 1 band and wrap it around there 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This area right here where there's a point, we're going to be wrapping a cap band 3 times around that area. 1, 2, and 3. And the other thing that we need to do to hold the piece together is to do a cap band or a set of cap bands across these 3 pegs. What we're going to do is to take 1 band and wrap it around those 3 pegs 2 times. So this was 1 band wrapped around these pegs, 3 pegs, 2 times. Let's begin to loom our creation. In looming our creation, I'm going to start in a different area first. I want to start in the center portion where there are these cap bands. I'm going to reach in, grab the 2 cap bands that are on the top. I'm going to follow the direction that they came from. In my case, this is coming down towards the center. Reach into that cap band again and bring those 2 pieces up to the front. Now we'll work on his bottom. We're going to reach into those cap bands, a cap band, and we want to get out the top 2 bands. I had to straighten those out there real quick. Be careful, there's a lot of tension there, so you want to be sure to hold on to your cap band. And we're just going to work up on the right side of the body here. Reach in, come forward, reach in, come forward. And there's a little bit of tension on this piece, so I'm relieving a little bit of the tension there. We want to reach into the bottom and we're going to work our line straight up towards the head. And just reach in and loop. We're going to reach in. Be careful, there are a lot of bands right here. We want to grab our bottom 2 bands and come straight forward. Once again, there's a lot of bands on this peg, the 3rd peg down, so you want to reach in Grab your bottom 2 bands and come straight forward. Now we've reached the face area, the head. I'm going to reach in. I have 2 bands that are going off to the right. We want to take those 2 diagonals and finish those off. And I want to finish off the very last portion coming straight forward. I'm going to reach in to that very last peg where I have my dangle band. I'm going to grab that dangle band, pull it out, place it over my hook, and just tie off the end. It's a basic slip knot. If that technique does not work for you, choose whichever technique you're familiar with to tie off your loom. Be sure to take your hook and place it in to relieve the tension on your product. This will keep the ant from getting twisted and disformed as much if you were just to rip it right off the loom. I know it takes a little bit more time, but it's less fiddling. Now we're going to begin by working on his legs. To do his front legs, you want to grab a few bands and pierce through the bottom of his body in about where the head and the body meet, the first segment of the body meet. And you want to do is take 1 band and pull through those couple bands, and I just pulled mine all the way through. And reach in. Be sure to hold on to the one end. Pull your bands through the body. Give your band a little tug. And if you wish, you can just use it as is, or you can snip the bands and tie them in a knot in this area, and that'll secure the legs to the ant. Or as I have demonstrated, I just have mine pulled through the body and kind of freely there. We need to do another set of bands. This is going to be 2 bands on the further back portion, the back segment, between the back segment and the center segment of the ant. Pull 2 rubber bands through. Stretch it out a little bit. And what we're going to do is to cut one side, and we can finish pulling through. Be sure to hold on to 2 bands. We're just going to pull that through. Give it a good tug. And with a little bit of fiddling, we have our legs on our ant. And you'll need to fiddle and tug with them just to get them to where you want them to be. And then I've simply taken a pair of scissors and just sort of cut them a little shorter, just to give it the leg effect of an ant. They seem a little long. Give them a quick little cut. And there we have got our ant.